Greek mythology is full of weird, wacky, and absolutely insane things, from Zeus's weird fetishes to Medusa's existence in general. The realm of the Greek gods is absolutely wild, and today we're going to be counting down the top 20 facts from Greek mythology that are absolutely insane. So, welcome to my channel. Number 20. At one point, Zeus was almost killed by his own father. Cronus, the leader of the Titans, was always worried about being overthrown by one of his children. You see, an old prophecy foretold that he would eventually be overthrown by his son, just like he had overthrown his own father, Uranus. To prevent this from happening, Cronus decided to swallow each of his children as they were born. But Rhea, his wife, was not having it. She tricked him by swapping their youngest son with a rock and then hid the baby away on a faraway mountain. That baby, of course, was Zeus. So yeah, thanks, Mom. Number 19. Aphrodite was born from a severed genitals, so we all know who the most beautiful woman in the world is. It's clearly Aphrodite. But did you know how she came to be? You see, her father, Uranus, the god of the sky, had no less than 15 major children with his wife, Gaia, the goddess of the earth. But he didn't want any more children after that. So he started dodging her, even considering self-castration. However, when Gaia saw what he had done, she was so disgusted that she made sure he never got away with it. An old titan named Cronus, who happened to be her brother, took advantage of this opportunity and led a rebellion against Uranus, castrating him and throwing his genitals into the sea. From this point forward, Cronus became the new ruler of the cosmos. And as for the severed genitals, they gave birth to a new goddess, Aphrodite. Yep, she was literally born from her father's severed genitals. Number 18. In one myth, Zeus was actually killed by his own mother. In another version of the story of Cronus and his children, Zeus wasn't saved by his mother. Instead, he was eaten by her right along with his siblings. Later, he would escape from his stomach and overthrow him along with the help of his siblings. Number 17. Medusa wasn't the only Gorgon. Despite what you might think, Medusa was actually the only mortal Gorgon. Her sisters, Stheno and Euryale, were both immortal. In fact, they may have been the Gorgons even before Medusa was turned into one. Number 16. Athena was born fully grown. When Athena was still just a baby, she was a demigoddess. Nobody knew how or where she was born, but Zeus claimed that he had swallowed her mother, Metis, whole while she was pregnant. As it turns out, though, that wasn't exactly a lie. Athena really was swallowed, but she was swallowed by her grandfather, Oceanus, and she grew to maturity inside of him. He was so shocked to find a fully grown goddess in his stomach that he regurgitated her immediately. Then Zeus declared that she would become his daughter and that she would be known as Athena. Number 15. Persephone was raped by Hades. We all know the story of Persephone and Hades. She ate some pomegranate seeds, and that meant she had to spend a portion of every year with her father in the underworld. But it's important to remember that Persephone was only 9 years old at the time, and Hades was a god. So yeah, technically speaking, this was a case of statutory rape. Number 14, the Hydra was killed by Heracles. There's no way we could talk about monsters in Greek mythology without mentioning the Hydra. This creature had 9 heads, and if you cut off one of them, 2 more would grow back in its place. Eventually, Heracles discovered the secret to defeating the Hydra. He burned each of its heads as soon as he cut them off, and this ensured that the heads wouldn't grow back. After a long and arduous battle, he finally managed to kill the beast. Number 13, King Minos had a very strange fetish. Minos was the king of Crete, and he was married to a woman named Pasiphae. One day, Poseidon became infatuated with Minos' beautiful wife, so he sent a bull to his palace, promising that if Minos would do whatever it asked, he would be granted a great favor. However, the bull ended up getting loose and impregnated Pasiphae, and their offspring was the Minotaur, a creature with the head of a bull and the body of a man. Number 12, humans were created from the blood of the Titans. After Zeus and his siblings defeated the Titans and freed the Cyclopes and the Hecatonchires from their prison, they held a great banquet in honor of their victory. During the celebration, a fight broke out between the gods. And when Zeus was struck by a stone thrown by his brother, his blood spilled onto the ground below. Gaia, the old Titan goddess of the earth, absorbed this blood and used it to create the first humans. Number 11. Pandora wasn't the first human ever, but she was definitely the most famous. According to Hesiod, Prometheus was the one who actually created the first humans. He molded them out of clay and then brought them to life. He gave them everything they needed to survive and thrive, including fire. But obviously, humans weren't supposed to have fire. And when Zeus found out that Prometheus had given it to them, he punished him for his insolence. His punishment was that he would be chained to a nearby mountain, where an eagle would eat his liver every day, only for it to regrow every night, meaning that he would suffer this fate for eternity. Number 10. The Chimera was killed by Bellerophon. Now, the Chimera was one of the most fearsome monsters in all of Greek mythology. She was a gigantic fire-breathing hybrid creature with the head of a lion, the body of a goat, and a tail that ended in a snake's head. Thankfully for humanity, though, she met her demise at the hands of the hero Bellerophon. Using a spear with a deadly poison on its tip, he managed to slay the beast. Number 9. The Odyssey was based on a real person. The Odyssey and the Iliad are widely considered to be the greatest works of Greek literature ever written. They tell the stories of legendary heroes like Odysseus and Achilles, but what a lot of people don't realize is that these characters were based on real people. In fact, Homeric scholars believe that both Odysseus and Achilles were likely war leaders during the Mycenaean Greek invasion of Troy around 1250 BC. Number 8. A hero was ripped apart by ants. Althea was a very famous hero in Greek mythology. In one story, he went up against the giant Tityos in combat. And although the hero won the battle, Tityos swore revenge. He went to Althea's home and set a trap for him. He pretended to be dying and sent a letter begging for Althea's help. The hero felt sorry for him and went to his house to check on him, only to be torn apart by ants immediately after. Number 7. Aphrodite was married to Hephaestus. Even though she was notoriously promiscuous, Aphrodite was actually married to the lame god of the forge, Hephaestus. The two of them had one child together named Eros, but they weren't together for very long because Zeus banished Hephaestus to live among mortals. Number 6. The Golden Fleece was a real thing. The legend of Jason and the Argonauts is one of the most famous stories in all of Greek mythology. It tells the tale of how a group of heroes went on a quest to retrieve the Golden Fleece. But a lot of people forget that the Golden Fleece was actually a real artifact. It was probably an actual golden cloak that had belonged to an ancient king. And the reason it was hidden away in Colchis was to keep it safe from invaders. Number 5. The Trojan War wasn't the first war. Before the Trojan War, there was the war between the gods. If you remember from earlier, the gods were once at war with the Titans. And before that, there was the war between the primordial deities. Chaos, Gaia, and Uranus fought against the other primordial deities, Pontus and Tethys. And before that, there was the war between the first beings in existence, the one who came before the primordial deities. These are commonly referred to as the chaotic deities. Number 4. The labyrinth was a real place. Most of us are familiar with the myth of Theseus and the Minotaur. Theseus was a hero who volunteered to be sacrificed to the Minotaur because he wanted to save the lives of other Athenian youths. With the help of Ariadne, Princess of Crete, he navigated the labyrinth and managed to kill the beast. Well, the labyrinth really was a real place. It was a huge, confusing building filled with twists and turns, and it was actually built as a way to hold captured criminals or anyone else who had fallen out of favor with the royal family. Number 3. Demeter was punished by Zeus. As you probably already know, Demeter is the goddess of the harvest. She was so revered by mankind that if she ever stopped paying attention to the crops, people would starve to death. Because of this, Zeus made a law that banned mortals from praying to her or any other goddess. For 7 years he hoped that this would cause Demeter to break her sacred oath, but she didn't. She simply retreated into the deepest parts of the underworld. This caused food shortages everywhere and forced Zeus to reverse his decision. Number 2. Hades and Persephone got married at least once. We all know that Hades kidnapped Persephone and brought her down to the underworld to be his queen. But did you know that they actually got married more than once? Every year, Persephone would return to the mortal realm to visit her mother. And every year, Hades would become so overcome with longing that he would abduct her again. And number 1, Daedalus and Icarus flew too close to the sun. This is a story that needs no introduction. Everyone knows about the man and his son who invented wings and then flew too close to the sun, causing Icarus to fall to his death. But a lot of people forget that this story actually comes from Greek mythology. Daedalus was an inventor who was imprisoned in a labyrinth, and he made wings out of feathers and wax so that he and his son could escape. That's all for now, but please feel free to check out other videos. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.